Well, keeping up with state-to-state gun laws can be confusing. North Dakota gun laws can be very, very complicated, as in many states they can be complicated, from Idaho to New York and even California. A boutique law firm in Idaho boasts a unique specialty in firearms law. Joining me now is Alex Kincaid, the founder of the firm. Alex, it's great to see you again.
Good morning, Grant. Good to see you.
Hey, you know, I was doing some research, and one of the things that confuses many people who have a right to carry and have a concealed handgun license wonder whether or not they can carry that at work. And there are a lot of court cases about this. Where do you see the rules coming down on this?
Well, think of it as an argument between private property owners and the employee's right to carry, the Second Amendment. And so the employers frequently don't want guns on their property. They may be anti-gun, they may just be afraid of liability, and so they just ban them. It's safer as an employer just to say, we're not going to allow guns, they think. Of course, they're disregarding the gun-free zone issues that us as gun owners are very well aware of. Making a place gun-free doesn't make it safer. So employees are frequently prevented from exercising their Second Amendment right, not only when they're in the business actually working, but many people can't even commute with a firearm because employers are saying, we're not even going to allow you to bring a gun on the property, even if it's in your locked vehicle. And states are starting to crack down on that.
So I know some states have come forward and said, hey, look, you can keep a gun in your locked vehicle when you're at work, just so your rights aren't infringed when you're on your way to work. Has anybody been suing employers about the right to carry inside the workplace?
They have been suing. They haven't been particularly successful. And that's where we're going back to the state houses and trying to pass laws to protect employees, not only to leave the guns in their vehicles if their vehicles are in the parking lot and locked, but also we're trying to prevent employers from even being able to discriminate against gun owners. Some employers ask during an interview process, do you carry? Are you pro-Second Amendment? And there are states that have now passed laws saying you can't discriminate against this class of individuals who support the Second Amendment and want to carry firearms, or because someone has a concealed carry permit.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that politics would get in the way here and that they would discriminate against a gun owner if they have anti-gun views. You know, I guess when it comes down to the Republic, the most important thing is property rights. Guns actually end up protecting property rights, but the Constitution doesn't outlaw stupidity. And so employers that are dumb for not allowing employees to be able to carry on site, I think they're well within their rights. I hate that they do it. I wouldn't want to work for a firm that does, but I think it's clear they can do it because it is their private property. They're just ignorant when they do so.
And that's exactly where the issue lies. And so I always go back to education, because people and employers need to be educated and they need to understand, just like you mentioned, the law enforcement understand. Law enforcement officers know we're safer when law-abiding Americans have firearms and know how to use them and are trained to use them.
Let me ask you, I know you've studied this issue quite a bit. We've got a lot of so-called assault weapons bans trying to outlaw very common firearms like the AR-15. That's what the case is here. Judge Gorsuch was asked about the Heller decision. They're trying to relate that to AR-15 bans, which the Heller decision really doesn't have anything to do with. But Judge Gorsuch gave a nice indication when he talked about common use, and that Scalia was clear that if a gun is within common use, it is protected.
That's correct. And Justice Scalia reiterated that in a case that not very many people are aware of. But in 2015, the issue of these assault weapon bans actually was put before the United States Supreme Court. They did not hear the case, but Justice Thomas and Justice Scalia agreed in an opinion saying we should hear this case, because you know what? When over 5 million Americans own a particular type of firearm like the AR-15, it is protected, and we need to address this, and we need to correct the situation that's popping up around the country with these so-called assault weapon bans. Clearly, Judge Gorsuch is well-versed in this issue. He's aware of it. He stated in response to Dianne Feinstein that, you know what, whether a firearm can be used by the military is not the question. The question is, as Justice Scalia put it, that the firearm is in common use in the United States of America.
Well, I appreciate you breaking it down for us. Alex Kincaid, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Hey, I'm Grant Stinchfield for NRA TV. We will see whether the Supreme Court will take up these issues. Now remember, Gorsuch just simply replaces Scalia. So my guess is it doesn't. We need one more after Gorsuch to really get gun rights moving in America. I'm Grant Stinchfield for NRA TV.
You're watching NRA TV with Grant Stinchfield.